lot of times people will come buy from your site and they'll buy once and that's the last time you see them. So you need to capitalize on the opportunity of them coming to your store by offering them a post-purchase upsell.
Like, we started selling this product out of the trunk of our cars.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Inventory management is about balance.
Get the product out. That's number one.
I've always preached sustainable growth.
So we just started building community.
Look at the data.
Product development is everything.
Yeah, we say we're a brick, click, and pop.
But you have to love what you do.
Definitely not least. I know he's been, patiently waiting because we are a little bit behind schedule here, but I've got Jeff Wenberg up next. Jeff is from Zipify, and the folks at Zipify, they were actually sponsoring all 4 legs of what was meant to be our West Coast tour. So we did Vancouver, we did Seattle. They sponsored both of those. They were sponsoring San Diego and LA as well. And so I'm very, very happy to have Jeff join us. Jeff, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay too?
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
So we've used Zipify for tons of different stuff. We've used it to run contests. We've used it to do product launches. We've used it to run a Dutch auction. So I'll let you tell us more about it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me. And everybody, hello, I'm Jeff, and I'm the Director of Content Marketing at Zipify. And if you maybe don't know of us, just kind of real briefly, so you know about what we're going to be talking about. Zipify, hey Megan, how are you? Zipify, we have apps that help e-commerce businesses market their products better and sell more of their products and that sort of thing. So we have Zipify Pages, which is a Shopify-based landing page builder. And we have, hey Sherry, One Click Upsell, which is a post-purchase upsell app. And what that allows you to do is offer, multiple different things after they've already done their initial purchase. Can you guys still hear me okay? I'm seeing Ivana's screen is frozen on my end.
I can hear you.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
okay.
You're good. I'll
cool.
I'll chime in if you freeze.
Okay, awesome. And I'm going to just share my slides here real quick and then keep going. Okay, cool. So yeah, and One Click Upsell is our post-purchase one-click upsell app that allows you to basically increase your average order value. And what I wanted to talk about today is what we're kind of seeing businesses do that are using our apps to really thrive in today's landscape. And what I was really pleasantly surprised by is hearing the merchants and also the other apps and stuff that we're talking previously, that they're going to mirror exactly what I'm saying too. So I was really surprised and very happy to hear, because it's kind of funny how these industry norms really permeate things and really stand up. And so basically what I'm saying is they're really going to just prove my point, because you can just look back at everything they've said to have this mirrored in their presentations. So we're going to talk about how to grow your business even in uncertain times, no matter what's going on around you. And we're kind of in the midst of some unprecedented stuff. And what we've seen are the businesses that are continuing to grow and have some of their best months ever are doing some of these things. And then we're also going to look at the number one metric that you need to focus on to improve your sales growth and to ultimately the growth of your business. Real quick about me, just so you know who I am. Like I said, I'm Jeff. I've been on the Zipify team for a little bit, over 3 years, coming up on 4. That's my kids, my family, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to totally bore you with with that stuff, but let's move into how do you grow your business when stuff is totally crazy, right? And what we've seen is there's this big oh my God, there's a pandemic happening right now, which it is very scary and it's uncertain and all that kind of stuff. But what we've seen a lot of people do is actually pull back their marketing budgets and what Reversion was just talking about, they've seen hey, we're uncertain what's going to happen. And so they pull things back when actually that kind of just accelerates either the problems or the solutions. And what we typically see, the businesses that are growing, no matter what's going on, all do one thing. And that is they focus on marketing basics and they really have this stuff dialed in. the last merchant, I can't remember the name of the business, but they like, their presentation was amazing. And I could like tell that they really have the kind of like the brand connection down. And when you get the stuff down and really, really like to the core of your business, have it perfected, it doesn't really matter what's happening because people are still going to like need your product and need your just engagement with your brand over anything else. And what a lot of times we see is that people, they think like, uh-oh, something's happening out there. I better like change everything I'm doing, instead of focusing on what we know works, and not just like in our business, but also just in marketing in general. And they abandon that stuff in a short-term fix for this problem, when if they just went all in on getting things figured out, connecting with their brand, figuring out their messaging, and like just really improving everything from top to bottom, like not only like Facebook ads all the way to fulfillment, you know, like getting that all dialed in so that everything is working to connect with the people that you're trying to serve, then basically you're bulletproofing your business. And in terms of pages, we need to kind of focus there, since that's what does a lot of the actual selling. Obviously you're selling in everything you do, from, you know, your social media posts all the way to like what ShipStation was talking about with like the unboxing experience. You're selling across the board. But since our, you know, part of that is in the pages, what we see businesses that are like really thriving right now is they're focusing on really like dialing in their messaging on their pages, and specifically their product pages, and really showing people using their products that are reflective of themselves. So when they go to the website and they see like, oh man, there are like, let's just say it's a cotton shirt. It's people like me wearing the cotton shirt that I'm interested in buying. So it's like they can almost like see themselves in that shirt already. And so like you just really need to focus on those elements like that, that basically sell the product for you without you having to be so salesy, because it's showing it in a way that like basically makes it easy for somebody to be like, oh, yep, that's the exact effect and result that I want from buying that product. I want to feel just like they feel in those pictures. And one of the easiest ways to improve your pages is with that high quality product imagery. And so I just wanted to hop over online and just show a couple examples. You've already seen some. I didn't expect to have as many great examples as there were, so I pulled up a few of my own, but you can kind of see, this is Ezra, our CEO's e-commerce brand, Boom by Cindy Joseph. And they've got just like all kinds of amazing product photos of their demographic, right? These aren't anybody else other than who they focus on selling to. And then they nail that 100%. So everybody, all of these pro-age women that see these images, they're like, oh, wow, that looks amazing. And that looks like me. You know, they're not like some, like there's nothing wrong with younger women, but their demographic is, I believe, like 50 and older. And so like all of their models are 50 and older, and they're not trying to look young. They're just trying to embrace their age and, you know, like really just kind of present what they're trying to present with the whole brand as a whole. And you can kind of see that. And then if we, you know, we move over to Everlane, just an online clothing store, the same kind of deal. You're seeing all of the exact people that would be interested in this kind of stuff being reflected in not only the images, but also like the messaging that we see in the product descriptions and that kind of stuff. You've got Naturalicious, a lovely natural hair brand, the same kind of thing where it's like, that is me. Oh my God, those curls are just like mine. You know, Chubby's is like one of my favorite brands out there, and it's like the exact same thing. And this is one of those deals that a lot of times people overlook, where they think, oh, I can just pop up an image and, you know, I don't even really have to show it in the hands of people using it. And those businesses in times like where things are uncertain are the ones that are seeing like, oh crap, this isn't working. But the businesses that have this dialed in, they're either being able to like sustain during this time or actually scale, because the people that are, you know, being kept home and shopping online more are like, oh, I want to find some stuff that like really reflects who I am as an individual. And boom, they come to this site and they're like, oh, that's totally me. I want those shorts, which I thought were hilarious and, you know, considered possibly picking up. But Allbirds is the same way. So that's the last example. But I think you get the point from this and from also what all the other presenters were talking about. And lastly, kind of on the basics of marketing is really like identifying who your audience is, and not just like, based on data, but like really who are they as people and like what do they care about, and using messaging in a way that really kind of talks to that so they can identify with your brand. Because right now that's what people want, is they want that engagement and that connection with other brands, and not just like nameless entities, but just like, I don't remember how to pronounce, Ivan, how is the, I can't remember the necklace brand. I don't know how to say the name. Could you?
Oh, it's Kutu Keech.
Kutu Keech. Yeah. So like they're in like the last point they made about the kind of like more personal post that they made had a higher engagement. That like really reflects a statement. It's because people want to engage. They don't want to just be sold to. And if you can get your messaging to a point where it does the selling for you without actually saying, hey, buy this, we're on sale. But it's like this one here on this French Terry hoodie. So basically Everlane, they want their like audience, they want like high quality handmade goods that are like really durable and that kind of stuff. They're all organic and everything. The description: to create our French Terry fabric, we worked with the man called Six, an expert in fabric development. It's like, what? Okay, cool. Tell me more. I'm interested, because that's like the kind of thing they're interested in. So basically that coupled on their product pages with like everything else they would be doing in their social posts and emails and that kind of stuff really like drives home this connection with what these people care about. And so with marketing basics, it's just do what works, because it's proven from like not only just like in recent years, but like these are just basic marketing practices that most people overlook because they're not sexy. They don't, like get talked about on like Facebook Lives and that kind of stuff, but they are the only things that are proven to kind of like, what would be the word, recession proof your business. Because when you get this dialed in, people don't really care about that. You become a necessity in their lives. And when they cut out things, they don't cut you out because you've done such a good job of connecting with them. So that's one of the things that we've been seeing with the people that are thriving right now that are using Zipify pages and one-click upsell, is they've really dialed in their brands. They really speak to their audience in a way that the audience hears it and is like, yes, I want that. One of the businesses is Tactic Calories, and they create sauces and that kind of stuff. And if you go to their website, it's just like, like sauces for people that like to cook, but they want like more high quality ingredients. And so all of their labels look really, really cool. They're like created by artists, and they're called, like the Helldiver sauce. And it's like, they have like really cool names that really like resonate with their market. And I feel like they've done such a good job of, creating this engagement with their audience where, Casey, the CEO, said like they could go buy Frank's hot sauce for like $2, but they come to Tactic Calories and buy their sauce for like $12 a bottle, because they've done such a good experience with that, engagement and using messaging that their audience identifies with. And that actually kind of leads me to the next point, is the number one metric that most people don't really focus on when they're trying to like increase sales and that kind of stuff. And what we see is that a lot of times people focus on, hey, what's the conversion rate of my ads, my landing page, that kind of stuff. And yes, that is important, but that doesn't allow you to, kind of scale your customer acquisition and that sort of stuff. It does it does in a way, but not like that you can count on. So when you know that your average order value is $50 per purchase, that allows you to scale everything else, because like, hey, I'm going to at least make this. I can subtract my product costs, and then I need my CPA to be like half of that or whatever it is. Like you can adjust things to and fro if you know what that is. And the more that, like, the higher your average order value is, the more you can pay to acquire a customer. And that's actually what allows you to scale, because basically Ezra and Boom by Cindy Joseph, the first example that I showed you, that is what they've really relied on to be able to compete with like really big brands like Sephora and Revlon and those kinds of brands that have like, you know, multi-million dollar budgets for just marketing alone. They can pay a lot to acquire a customer just to compete with those, because basically they're going to be spending that money anyway. So if you can get somewhere in the ballpark, I'm not saying you have to, you know, like spend $100 a customer or anything like that, but the more you can afford and still be profitable, the better off you're going to be to actually scale. And the way to do this is by focusing on average order value. And how do you do this actually to increase your average order value is using post-purchase one-click upsells. And I know that's like, hey, that's your app, but like regardless of using one-click upsell, the technique is what's super important. The reason is a lot of times people will come buy from your site and they'll buy once and that's the last time you see them. So you need to capitalize on the opportunity of them coming to your store by offering them a post-purchase upsell. And McDonald's has been doing this for years. You know, when you go to McDonald's or whatever, you know, like drive-through, they're like, hey, do you want to either, you know, grab another size, or do you want to add on this cookie or whatever it may be, like your favorite fast food. It's not good for you, but, you know, I feel like we all eat it at some point. Everybody, like, they upsell you. And it's the same when you go to like Target. It's why there's like candy and gum and chapstick right at the checkout. It's one of those like, oh yeah, let me add that on, no problem. This is a way to increase what each person spends at your store. So if they never come back, you've maximized that opportunity. And then when you couple it with like the product delivery, like ShipStation was talking about, that one was like super important. That experience that you're creating for these people, then they're going to come back. But let's say they don't, this also kind of like safeguards against that. And so what you can do to offer post-purchase upsells and really kind of, you know, maximize this purchase or like this checkout experience for them in over, you know, processing 300 million and some change for merchants in the last like little bit of time. What we've seen is one more of what they just bought, or a couple more of what they just bought at a discount, is what works the absolute best for a post-purchase checkout. And one of the things, if you're not kind of set up to, like, let's say as an example, you sell shirts, since I already mentioned shirts. Like, it doesn't always work to be like, hey, do you want one more of the shirt you just bought? You can offer complimentary products and bundles and that sort of stuff to kind of like add to the order. But we found with consumables and stuff like that, with like, as an example, for deodorants or like stuff like Kopari, where they sell deodorants and they're trying to get, you know, they get a lot of people buying one and then they don't come back. So what they're doing is they're trying to get people to buy multiple units of their deodorant. And you can do this by saying, hey, you just got this one, but let me add on one more to your order for like 40% off. And the cool thing is it increases your average order value, but it doesn't increase your product and shipping costs that much, because you're going to still have to pay to ship one, and adding one more to a box doesn't usually increase costs that much, but it increases your profit per order a lot. So this is what we typically see. And a lot of times, you know, people want to see like, well, what does this even look like? And this is just a very rough example that I pulled out from a test store I had. But basically, they would buy from your Shopify checkout, and then after checkout, they would see something like this. Hey, wait a second, like, here's a one-time special offer. It's a perfect complement to your order. If you would like, you know, to add this, just click add to my order and you're all set. And typically we see, you know, as much of a discount here as you can give and still be profitable on this sale is what works best. But making it easy for them to say yes is a great way to increase that average order value and really kind of ramp things up so that you can profitably afford to acquire customers and not have to have it take forever by, you know, building organic Shopify or organic social media posts and that kind of stuff. This really helps to just like speed up the process, make it a lot faster, and make it actually more effective. Because if you can perfect the paid acquisition and then kind of like have a bonus secondary organic strategy behind that, it really will allow you to ramp up faster, allow you to kind of have a little bit more stability because you can count on the numbers. You know, obviously they'll go up and down a little bit, but not quite as much. So increase average order value on every sale and focus on marketing basics And that is basically how to survive in any kind of environment that you might be faced with. Basically, it's like not the sexy stuff, but it's the stuff that works. So I'd encourage you to focus there. And I think everybody's presentations kind of mirror what I'm saying is marketing basics, engagement, connection. That's all you need to really thrive. So that is all I have for you guys today. I don't know if there's any questions or not, but happy to answer whatever you guys have.
Yeah, there are definitely a couple of questions here. One thing I do want to say first, though, is I think we've all been upsold by McDonald's at least once in our lives. Like, have you even lived if you haven't been upsold by McDonald's at least once?
Exactly.
So just a couple of quick questions here from Sherry. She says, does Zipify do the product bundling in-app?
Yeah, so it does in some extents and it does not in others. So we just rolled out pre-purchase order bumps that fire right on the checkout page. You can basically say, hey, do you want to add the bundle to your order? Since let's say you have product A and then product A is part of bundle B. Do you want to upgrade to bundle B? It does it with that. But if you're trying to upsell into a bundle post-purchase, you have to actually create the bundle in Shopify as a separate product because we don't have that functionality yet based on how the API works and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, and then Monica's wondering, she says, I love the idea of using photos of people in your product shots that are representative of your customers. Our products are for middle school girls, but technically our customers are moms. Who do we focus on?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it were me, without having any kind of insight into your brand, I would focus on both. If it's moms with middle school daughters, get some pictures of moms with middle school daughters using your product, smiling, just really focus on who is your audience and the things that would resonate with them and the things that they would identify with characteristic wise. That's what I would do without kind of any insight into that business.
Cool. All right. Well, Jeff, you are our kind of final speaker of the day, so I'll let you do some. Do you have any parting words for us? Big spotlight on you right now.
Yeah. No. The only thing is just don't be scared. This is an uncertain time, but it's also a time that I don't remember exactly whose presentation it was, but they were showing more people are going online to buy things. So this is just the way it's going. So embrace it, see the opportunity rather than oh crap, it's scary. There's a huge opportunity here for all e-commerce sellers. And I think the people that really see it as an opportunity rather than a negative thing are really going to thrive at this time.
Cool. Well, Jeff, thank you so much. I know we've kind of gone over schedule here, but hopefully one day we'll be able to do these meetups in person again. And then maybe we'll get to do LA again sometime.
Yeah,
in the future,
absolutely.
All of that. So,
well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.
Bye, Jeff.